Welcome to Roguecast, the official podcast of Rogues Gallery. We'll talk comics for the week, as well as whatever news is on our pop cultural radar. I'm Randy.
I'm Nick.
This is Dave.
And now, on with the show.
Hello, and welcome to the Roguecast. It's a big week of comics again.
Yep. I also want to point out it's fall.
It's fall.
It's cold outside.
Yeah, for sure.
Everybody listening to this.
Actually, willing it into existence? Is that what we're doing?
You know what? By the time they hear this, if it goes up tomorrow, whenever, what'll be Wednesday this week?
Yep.
There is supposed to be like rain and the cold front hitting that.
Bullshit.
Now
Hate it.
It's like dropping it down to again fake fall levels, which is like highs of I don't know, like 90 or something. But I saw some Nick. Take a look at the temperatures. Give me a read on it.
Yeah, it's not cold outside. I just want to be clear about this. It is sunny
right now.
and warm.
It says like real feel is like 110. Right
yeah,
now,
that sounds about right. Fall in Texas.
Yeah.
However, tomorrow 85% chance rain and high of 87.
87.
Look,
basically a blizzard.
I live here for the hot weather, people. I don't live here for the...
Low is in the 70s, and we're going to get into the 60s.
I don't live here for the government or for the people. I'm here for the weather.
But we also sell comics and games here.
We do. The weather report is over.
The weather report is over.
And now we're going to talk about games.
Yeah. We've come to an agreement. We can't wait for the fall.
No. We're not moving on. No. I veto that. We are not happy about fall.
It's two to one.
3, yeah.
Your summer forever loses.
It's rescinded.
Incorrect.
Listen, to the listeners out there who might have come for some comic and game news, I'm sorry to say.
I'm editing all of this.
What do we have that's new this week?
There's a bunch of games.
Clearance sale's still going on.
Yep.
50% off. There's a pretty good stack of games and comic stuff back there. There was a lot of new games. The big one is probably the D&D starter set, Heroes of the Borderlands.
Yep.
A new all-fancy starter that includes pre-gen characters and...
Color map.
Color map. It's actually...
maps.
What's that?
Plural. I thought it was...
It is plural.
Yeah, I don't know for sure.
It has essentially 3 adventures in it, I believe.
Okay.
So yeah, it's...
It's the original starter set on steroids.
Well, so we were talking about this, and if you look at it, it's heavier than the older ones. It's a little pricier.
It's bigger.
But it has like kind of fancier production values, and it's got like tokens, I think, to represent the monsters and stuff like that. And I know that for like a lot of people who are kind of coming into it who have never played D&D, if we tell them D&D frequently uses theater of the mind and doesn't need a thing, they're like, what are you talking
They're
about?
like, shut up, nerd.
Yeah, shut up, nerd. They're like, I watched Stranger Things. There's a map, and you put your miniature on it, and you beat up a thing.
And you go to the underworld.
And you defeat the Demogorgon. And so this, I think, is the sort of response to that. And I think it's kind of a smart one. Because, yes, of course, it's standard D&D. It's not wildly changed. But it is the production values and the maps and the minis and stuff like that. I think ensure people get that experience that they want.
So their write-up is interesting. It says, designed for 3 to 5 players of any skill level, Heroes of the Borderlands is your all-in-one gateway to the world of Dungeons & Dragons, filled with fast, fun, cooperative storytelling that turns your table into a legendary adventure you'll talk about for years to come. No experience needed, no costumes required, just imagination, laughter, and the courage to roll. So they're basically just saying, hey, look, you don't have to be Critical Role, you don't have to be Dimension 20,
right? But
if you like that, this is what it is.
I think it's smart that they mention laughter in there too.
Yep.
And these sort of all skill levels, and the mentioning that like you're going to have stories to tell. That is generally a true thing of D&D and all of these kind of games, is that you end up with kind of fun, memorable stories.
Yep.
So yeah, I think they're hitting the right notes.
I do too.
I hope the adventures are good. I'd like to read about what some of them are.
They're always pretty solid. I mean, they've got pretty good talent.
I mean, I thought that the last one that I played, which was the first 5th edition one, Minds of Phandelver.
Yep.
I thought it was quite good.
Yep. We also got the Lord of the Rings starter set for the 5th edition if you want to play in the world of Lord of the Rings.
Yep.
That one's got pre-gen characters, streamlined rules, all that kind of stuff. We got the D&D mini dice cups, the second series of those.
Right.
Which
those are, how would you describe it? It's like a sort of a tumbler encased in like this
it's almost shot glass sized.
Oh, that's right. It's like a shot glass, but it'll hold a little thing of dice a dice set that comes with it.
It has one of 8 iconic D&D characters sculpted onto it. I don't know which ones are on this time.
Yep.
I saw a wizard at least. And then you get a mini 7-piece dice set. There's 24 different dice sets, including acrylic and sharp edge resin. So there are common, rare, and legendary. Some of the glasses have like a metal sculpt. So it's like a cool little thing. If you're buying the mini dice, this is another way to get the sort of blind bag dice feel with also a cool little dice cup you can roll.
I believe Xanathar's goldfish, Xanathar the Beholder, I should say. Yes. His goldfish is one of the things that's sculpted onto one of these or whatever, yeah.
I've got the one I got from the previous set.
It does, but I don't know its name. Do you?
I don't know its name.
I have a figure of it.
How do you not know its name?
I don't know.
You obviously don't care.
Nick doesn't have that many figures, Dave. So he should
I can't remember the names of every single one.
I got the one with the Mind Flare on the last one, little purple Mind Flare with purple dice, and it's very cool.
Yeah, that's nice.
We got a game from a Kickstarter game we did called Lost Lumina, which is a 2-player area majority game, drafting of cards, hand management, and is very cute animal things.
Oh, okay.
It's like a little owl man. It's a fantasy theme.
I feel like this is we've talked about this. It's a golden era for forest creature games.
It is. This comes with a bonus kangaroo.
Oh, nice.
Card, not an actual kangaroo.
This is a special Outback add-on.
Indeed. To right. The Transformers RPG gets a sourcebook for the Transformers 1 universe, which was the...
Probably going to pick this up because...
We really liked this. I think we were all skeptical based on the trailers.
Yes. I found a trailer where I was like, I think there's something in this.
Yeah, then I thought you were crazy.
Yeah, and then I saw it, and it was really good.
I saw it, it was really good, and I thought Dave's probably still crazy, but not this.
But not in this particular issue.
Yeah.
So what I noticed in flipping through this is, like, there's a ton of cool art that is probably all from, like, movie, super detailed CG models.
Yep.
And it includes, like, characters that were not, like, the lead characters. Like, there's a bunch of the people that they just saw in passing or who had brief moments in the movie, but who are known Transformers. So if you, liked that movie, and I think... I feel like any Transformers fan who actually saw that movie is probably going to like it.
Yep.
Then you can have some more adventures in that world. They have all the lore, and it seems like expanded lore. So, I feel likely to pick it up.
Yeah, this is really a cool source book.
Also, see Transformers 1 if you hadn't.
Yeah, for sure. Werewolf the Apocalypse gets a book called Wormtide, which are these are the bad guys. So the malevolent corporations, the Fomori, their possessed hosts. So this is the bad guy book.
Interesting. So corporations can be evil?
I know, it sounds so hard to believe.
Huh.
I thought that was completely what Shadowrun was about.
Yeah, pretty much. Cyberpunk has been trying to warn us for 4 decades about this.
And have we listened? No.
Not so much. But the werewolves will avenge the human race.
Bring them on.
Hunter
the Reckoning Incognito Report. This is another White Wolf game.
Okay.
This is they call him Cog, and he knows the truth. Dig deep into the conspiracy running the world and hunt the monsters that serve the unseen masters. Whether you believe Cog or think he's insane, his collected conspiracy library is a treasure trove of clues for any aspiring monster hunter. So
this guy is an NPC for giving quests.
I guess, yeah.
Fun idea.
So conspiracy theories, urban legend, that kind of stuff. It's kind of a fun idea.
Yeah, that seems very cool. I think I think our listeners generally know this, but the White Wolf settings and all that stuff, World of Darkness setting, is known for its really deep, cool horror lore that, is kind of dark urban fantasy, all of it. And if you like that, if you like Jim Butcher type stuff, then these are cool things, cool to play, but also cool to just pick up for reading lore if you're a person who likes that kind of stuff, and I think a lot of people are. If you're an SCP person and all that.
We got a new board game called Monsters Menace the World that is basically in 2005 kaiju showed up in the world.
Okay.
And they're not official kaiju. There's I see Nessie, Chupacaluso, Conch, Strigoika, so they're
are they a little tongue-in-cheek?
They're going to be a little tongue-in-cheek, it looks like.
Sorry, is it a board game?
It's a board game.
Okay.
So it's got a lot of art by our friend Matt Frank, I believe.
Oh, that's cool.
This is... So you each play a monster you use to menace the planet in order to gain infamy, as well as a military faction to slow down or stop the other player's monsters.
Okay. Your idea is to be the best monster you can be and to harass the other monsters.
Yes.
So you get to both play the attack the monster people and the monster themselves. That's pretty good.
Yeah, it's a fun
good.
idea.
It's good to get both of those in the same game.
A game called Knitting Circle, which is a standalone follow-up to the game Calico, which is a really cute spatial game involving cats.
Yep.
This is involving your collecting yarn to knit into garments. Very, very cozy. I have heard we've sold Calico almost every week, I think, and I've heard a lot of good things. They put a lot of good components. It's fairly cheap for what you get, and it's a really good game.
As ever, if you heard a game about knitting and you're like boring, know that the gameplay is probably super fun, and you'd probably have a lot more fun playing that than you would a game where you play goblins fighting in an arena.
But also keep in mind, I think that a lot of people probably think knitting game, hell yeah.
They should as well. They should.
We got a game called One of Us, which is a co-op party game. Bear, you're who do you think of when you see a cat? Who would best wear a Daredevil parachute jumpsuit? And who would you prefer to disappear to a desert island? So you all agree on which one of you is that. I think
it's the people among the group.
It's people among the group.
But what are the questions again?
Who do you think of when you see a cat? Who would best wear a Daredevil parachute jumpsuit? And who do you prefer to disappear to a desert island?
Oh, this is not like Daredevil the superhero, but Daredevil like a crazy evil Knievel.
Yes.
That's pretty fun. I like that.
It is. However,
is it going to be super obvious on all of them?
If you vote all your friends vote that they want you to disappear to a desert island, you probably need to leave that group.
Yeah, that's an awkward one.
Maybe they know you just like the beach.
I think this reminds me of that game where you play yourself in an apocalyptic future that could either be like Ragnarok or zombies or whatever.
Apocalypse World stuff.
That you're supposed to, when you create you and talk about it with the other players, that there's a secret vote behind the thing, so you don't know who voted for who. That says like when the numbers you put out for your stats. They say you can like say if one of them seems too high or something like that. Mm-hmm. And if like more than one person says it, then you have to drop it by one. But the game does have a mechanic where you can it bumps up then something else for you. It's like you get a feat or something like that. So it's not going to be too big a loss. But we were playing it hastily when we played it, and so we bypassed the secret ballot, and people just said it.
That's a whole other minigame, Dave.
Which led
called Fighting with Your Friends.
A lady I know to tell her husband, I don't think your charisma is actually like a 4, I think it's more like a 3. And he's like, well, in my group of friends, she's like, I'm like the funny guy, and she's like, yeah, that's your group of friends. And I was like, is this going to be a fight?
Yeah. That is a whole other game.
That is a whole other game, yes. Whole other game. Turns out that rule is in place for a reason.
We got a game called Flow that's a co-op game where you're working to help 4 unlucky companions reach a boat before you run out of tiles. This is based on the French film that was
the silent
Academy Award
movie.
winning,
Yeah,
or
I believe it was.
Okay,
at least nominated,
and
probably winning.
It felt a little post-apocalyptic, that movie.
It was. It was about a flood that was basically had taken over the world.
Yeah,
and
I started watching it, and it was a little too distressing for me.
It is very distressing.
We were in kind of dire times.
Yeah.
We still are in dire times, but I hear it's pretty good though.
What?
Yeah,
everything's great right now, isn't it?
Well,
I haven't watched the news in like 8 months, but I feel like we're doing pretty well, right?
There's some red lights going on.
Yeah, but
who won the election, by the way?
So in this Flow game, what do you do? Run from the water?
Yes, it's the water. It's kind of like the reverse of Forbidden Island, where the water is like increasing. It's like instead of land. Well, I guess not the reverse. It's like
a different way
waves
of
are
doing
wiping
it.
off the safe paths, and you got to get onto the boat.
Okay, that sounds kind of cool. Do you play animals?
Yes, because I think in the movie it's a cat, a capybara, a weird bird, and a dog.
A dog, and there's one other creature.
Is there another creature?
There is another creature.
Yeah.
I can't think of what it is.
If I'm not mistaken, when I started
really good.
watching it, the creatures, they seem kind of realistic.
Yes,
Yeah,
they're like
talk.
they have their nature. Yeah.
So how do they end up working together? How does a capybaras are pretty chill, but
capybara is actually the gentle helper of the whole.
Yeah.
Thing. Yeah.
right,
They
but,
all have like their
but
personalities.
they're not like
their
Disney
actions.
characters, are they?
No, they
but
don't talk,
they do.
But
They do sort of grow together, I think.
it's all about
silence,
about the people banding together.
Yeah.
Right, but real animals don't do that. So that seems
Right. It's not
only
quite that
Disney
real.
animals do that. But you're saying it walks some line between.
Yes.
them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I do want to watch it. I'll check it out.
It's not realistic, Dave. It's just...
But it had the look of realism. They don't talk. The cat ran when it was scared, just like a regular cat. He wasn't like... That was last Thursday when I was chased through the woods.
Freeze frame.
Yeah.
That's me.
20 minutes earlier.
Voiced by Owen Wilson.
We got a new series of games called Meow.
I love it.
There you go.
365 Adventures. These are a year-long solo game
Yep.
with dice rolls and that kind of thing.
And also they can become a calendar.
I'm sorry,
right?
what is this?
It's 365 Adventures.
Okay.
It's a year-long solo game. Every month brings new twists. And the first one is The Dungeon, and the other one we got is Cthulhu 1926.
Interesting.
So yeah, kind of a fun, if you're looking for solo games, it serves as a calendar of sorts.
Yep,
Yeah.
it does.
Yeah. Fun idea.
Is it like an encounter a day kind of thing?
I don't know. I told you everything I know.
I need to look it up. It can't be like a whole campaign a day.
No.
it's an adventure
No,
a
it's like
day.
an adventure a day.
An adventure sounds like a lot, but
I don't know.
I don't know. Sometimes just moving from the couch.
I'm
is
betting
an
for a
adventure.
solo person though, like it's like a half-hour adventure or something like that, or an hour.
I don't
But
know.
I'm gonna look it up.
Okay.
That sounds cool. I like the idea.
We got Gatsby, which is a game where you compete for the attention of Jay Gatsby over cocktails, cabaret lights, and racetrack wagers.
Okay.
I'm gonna show him a little ankle, and I think Gatsby will be mine. Can you just get him sloshed?
Yes, I think probably.
I feel like that's his
You win by
permanent
collecting
existence.
matching characters or securing a diverse entourage.
I mean, that sounds weird, but kind of maybe inspired weird.
It's a two-player game. It sounds fun.
Entourage, the Gatsby edition.
The Mind Soulmates. I've never played The Mind. I know it's a beloved game.
Yeah.
So this one says, you think together, act as one, don't say a word. You are silently interacting. As the seer, there's another role. One player glimpses the future and gives limited clues without speaking. And you're supposed to get... I don't know how this all works.
No, I don't either.
I am sure that it does not require actual telepathy.
Sounds like it does.
But, you know those moments when you kind of like, you and a friend are like, you look and you like, oh, we're doing this, and you kind of like, just through looking at them or something. There must be stuff that they do in the game where like a hint will prompt you to kind of look at each other and know the deal.
You mean if like someone was saying a bunch of crazy things, you look at each other and kind of raise your eyes at each other?
Yes.
I don't know what that's like.
Are you doing that right now?
Paper World, where you are drafting cards, taking cards the same value or the same color, and you're a traveler trying to recreate the landscape you've seen during their journeys. I don't know.
That sounds interesting. These all sound good.
And a game
Maybe.
called Cadeau, which is a game about giving, receiving, and storing gifts. You gift cards to each other and have the opportunity to challenge by guessing either its type or value. If you win, you swap cards with your gifter, and at the end, you organize your gift in a 3 or 4 column and score points according to the value, gift type, and ribbon color of each. So it's kind of like a game version of like White Elephant Gift Exchange.
Yeah, with some regifting maybe in there.
Yeah. It's kind of interesting. I don't know what Cadeau, K-A-D-O, means. And then we got Grand Central Skyport, where you are officially operating your airship station and attracting the most prestigious tycoons to your city.
I wonder if I could get Gatsby to my city.
You can only get Airship Gatsby.
They let that drunk guy fly the airship? Uh-oh.
And then Nature, which is a board game that is apparently built on evolution,
Okay.
similar to it. It's been rebuilt, but it is basically a modular game system that lets you create and explore a unique ecosystem. And the base game is out, as well as the expansions for like dinosaurs, and I think there's another one we got too.
Create an ecosystem. Is this a competitive game? Or what
Yes,
is it?
yep, competitive game.
Okay. I'd like to look at that. That sounds interesting to me.
Yeah.
I longed to control dinosaurs for many years.
You're always talking about it. That's why we call you Dino Dave.
That is true. That is true. You will suffer when they they obey me.
All right, let's talk about comics of the week. There are a lot of them.
There are. It's another big week. The graphic novels will be on the table
Yep.
for at least a portion of the time.
Yep. Let's start with Battleworld #1, which I think we all enjoyed.
Yeah.
This is just a solid meat and potatoes comic. This could have come out in like the
We
80s.
should say this is from Marvel.
It's from Marvel.
The Battleworld is the Secret Wars Battleworld,
Yep.
or a version of it.
Yes.
Yes.
So
There have been, 2, 3 over the years?
yes, this is the writer Christos Gage and Marcus Toe on art. Marcus Toe is a really good artist.
He is.
And this has basically heroes from various timelines coming together on this patchwork planet, and they are supposed to, because some kind of infinite being has summoned them they're supposed to slay their enemies, prove their worth, and get their wishes.
The classic Secret Wars was like kind of one of those, what will win? Good versus evil.
Yep.
You know, there's heroes here, there's villains here. And it's been rethought over the years, including the kind of high-concept version of Jonathan Hickman. But yes, this is one where people are from different timelines and will get the power to be run their timeline, change their timelines. Some people are from bad timelines and might want to change them, like Days of Future Past.
Yep.
By the way, I kind of found the art sort of mid.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's
solid, but it reminded me of Run Limb.
You know, I'll say this. Mark Justo has actually done stronger art. I think that it is... He's just kind of in basic, but his storytelling is solid.
He was doing what?
Right, I do agree with that. Solid, and here's the thing. I thought the story was super fun.
Yeah.
Like, I did not expect to kind of really want to read this at all, but, like, almost every few pages, I was like, y'all can attest, I was like saying, oh, hey, Randy, this scene is great. Oh, I love this line of dialogue, or these characters interacting. Some of the different timeline people they have in there is a Peter Parker went from a timeline where he's just become Spider-Man. He's
very
like
much the Tom Holland
15 years old.
Yep.
There's Luke Cage from the 70s, the Luke Cage who famously, if you've seen this panel from making the rounds on the internet, is like, where's my money, honey? To Dr. Doom, who had hired him. There's a version of the Wasp who came from kind of a dark world. I actually haven't read whatever comic that came from.
No, I believe she's original.
Oh, okay. Most of the characters
in the notes at the back
are from some timeline, but she came from a world where Baron Zemo had like killed Hank Pym, and things had gotten dark, and so they call her the Avenging Wasp, and she runs the Avengers, and she's kind of more a hardcore version of the Wasp. But there's like a whole bunch of interesting ones. Oh, there's like King Thor, the Thor from the far future, who is
Jason Aaron's character
from Jason Aaron's run, who's like a more Odin-esque Thor. The Maestro is in there, the Hulk from the future who is a despot.
Yep.
And you're like, well, will he will he play nice with the team? Probably not.
Well, I think that what really kind of sold it up for me was the fact that you don't do the traditional heroes versus heroes right off the bat. It's not like adversarial. There's like talking.
They're trying to figure out what to do.
And they're trying to figure out working together, and I love that the central character is Hank Pym. He's an older one who is kind of like, okay, I know
would say
this
a little
deal.
bit inspired by movie Hank Pym.
Yeah. But he's like, I know the deal. I know you're all from different eras, but we have to work together. It felt kind of just cool.
He's a smart guy to kind of get people on the same page. And I think Christos Gage is one of those kind of writers who sort of knows his lore really well. But not just that, it's like he uses it in a cool way. When they converse with each other, and it kind of has the snappy punchiness of the original Secret Wars, where things are happening fast, and there's battles in this first issue, multiple skirmishes and stuff, and appearances. But everybody, as they interact, they're what they say reveals a lot about them and the world that they came from, and so he uses these alternate world characters in really interesting ways. Like Storm is from the Days of Future Past era.
Well, and the major threat in this one was a really interesting idea.
Yeah.
And fun to sort of take seriously and kind of...
It's a character I actually don't know a lot about, but I know of this character's importance in Marvel history.
Yeah.
But luckily this is one of those comics where they kind of tell you what you need to know.
And I'll always rally behind a comic that kills a Nazi.
That's true, and it happens in a pretty cool way here. You know what's was a cool scene? Bucky, young Peter Parker is like, he's like, I'm kind of freaking out here. I'm only 15. I wasn't made for this kind of stress. And Bucky's like, there's kids your age who joined the wartime stuff. He's suck it up, Buttercup, kind of. Yeah, this is just one of the many good scenes in it.
Bucky being inspirational.
Yeah, as only he can.
We got Ultimate Hawkeye #1, which I believe is a one-shot. I thought it was a mini-series. It looks like it's just a one-shot that sort of explores a little bit of the Native American Hawkeye in Ultimates. IDW has a couple big books this week. They've got the Twilight Zone #1, first in a series of... It's an anthology where each issue is going to be a different story.
Like a different episode?
Yeah. So this episode is written by Dan Waters, the guy who's been doing a lot of darker stuff at DC.
Also did Destro.
Did Destro. Artist Morgan Beam, who has a Jeff Lemire-esque style, I would say.
It's striking. It works for the Twilight Zone.
Did either of you guys read this?
I didn't. I flipped through it. I was really struck by
it. It is
art.
a perfect Twilight Zone. First of all, they actually do nod to Rod Serling as they show the opening.
It's black and white for one thing.
Well, but also like he is narrating,
right?
Because they show on the second page, they're landing on this beach and there's a guy in a suit with a cigarette and a umbrella.
Yeah.
You can't actually see him, but it's clearly Rod Serling watching everything. So. A nice little nod to the Twilight Zone.
You're right. This is a very Jeff Lemire-esque style, and as a compliment.
So this is basically about a rich guy who wants to cure death, and the hubris that causes him, and the results of that hubris, which is very much a Twilight Zone kind of story.
Real quick aside, since we famously lost the iconic actor Robert Redford, passed away this last week. There's a Twilight Zone that I have never seen. I don't know if you've seen this, Nick.
I've not.
Where Robert Redford played an incarnation of death. And I have been told it's not one of these ones where it's like, oh, death is coming for you. It's one of these ones that's like a story that's meant to be comforting, where death is like a friend. And, Robert Redford is playing that kind of warmth that I think he can project. And I've heard it's a really good episode, but I've never seen it. So I'm going to try and in the next week or so, wherever it's streaming, Paramount Plus? Something like that?
I think that's right.
I will try to check it out. What else we got, Rain?
Then they have Star Trek: The Last Starship. This they did a big relaunch of Star Trek after closing out the last one. This is by Kelly and Lansing, who were writing a lot of the previous stuff.
You know what? This sounds... You told me the premise here, because I didn't know it, and I was like, that is a kind of a cool premise built around something that I think not a lot of Trek fans love.
Yep.
In the Discovery era that was the far-flung future, the 32nd century...
Yep.
Well, a little bit before that. The reason things are stagnating in the 32nd century was there was an event called the Burn, where basically all the dilithium everywhere in the galaxy exploded because of crazy stuff, and basically it kind of it was like losing all of our travel around the world. So everything stagnated. So this starts. Go ahead.
So this starts with a starship trying to negotiate with the Gorn, which they finally seem to have settled into it. There's been peace everywhere in the galaxy except the Gorn. They're trying to sort of negotiate a peace with them, and just as they seem to be about to get there, everything goes to hell. The burn happens. And some of them are escaped. Their engineer basically is able to pack 4 of the crew into a torpedo tube and fire them away from it. And so they survive, and 3 or 4 days later, the captain and his first officer are in front of Starfleet and trying to figure out what they're going to do. And they're like, well, we can't use warp drive. The Federation's going to die. And a very surprising ally comes in to offer them a form of warp travel that does not use dilithium, which is another nod to another bit of the TV lore.
Yep.
And so they build a new starship that can fly around the galaxy and maybe hold up some of Starfleet's values. And then they go to Daystrom Institute and clone a famous captain to run the ship.
Right.
So it
Institute being one of their super science places from the lore.
It's a period that's not been explored, the post-Burn era.
Right. Basically an era of collapse.
Yes.
Total collapse for the Federation.
Because when Discovery started it, they were sort of at the end of the Burn. Because they are the ones who fix it, essentially.
Right. But this sounds like it's going to be about a starship trying to hold the line in particularly difficult circumstances.
Yeah.
It'd be like if the nukes had just dropped in Terminator, and it's about the group that's trying to survive right then and there.
Yes. It's a really good premise. I like the comic quite a bit. Would definitely recommend it.
I'm going to for sure check it out.
Robert Kirkman has a new book out this week called Skinbreaker. Mm-hmm. This is his sort of tribal fantasy book, I would say.
Yeah. It's got a little bit of almost slightly Game of Thronesy politicking within a... Yeah. They're like an otherworldly tribe. They're
It's like John Carter of Mars kind of stuff.
Exactly. They don't specify what the world is, but they look kind of more like orcs kind of. Yeah. They're kind of like orange-skinned orc type people, but they could also might as well be the Avatar people, the Na'vi.
The Na'vi.
But yeah, it begins with a hunt between this kind of this elder, he's like the chieftain, I guess, of the tribe. I don't know what they call him, but he's the chief, and his best warrior, and is very faithful to him. And there's this giant creature, this kind of alien-looking creature that and basically the chieftain is having trouble. He is feeling his age, and he's like, man, I am going to get, somebody's going to challenge me, and it's going to be bad because it's going to be, you see a few people who are kind of like power mongers, and so he says to his like best warrior, he's like, you should challenge me.
Not his best warrior, it's his son.
Oh, it's his son. I forgot that. And he's like, you should be the one to do it. Now, I assume that means he's got to like kill him in combat.
He does have to kill him in combat.
Yeah.
Yep.
And he's like, there's no way that's going to happen. But without getting too much into the details of where the book goes, it's kind of like, it's clear other people are angling to do this, and he's going to have to make a choice or come up with some clever way out or a plan. And meanwhile, there's, warrior badassery stuff.
It had a little bit of a Midsummer to me, like kill the elderly.
Interesting. Okay.
I mean, yeah, but it's like it feels more like almost.
No,
like,
I know, not completely, but I couldn't help my brain to make the connection in some ways.
Yeah, I think there's a little of John Carter to it, a little of that, was it Primal from Gennady Tartakovsky, little Avatar, the Blue People
and
one.
I don't know if did we say that David Finch does the artwork?
Right,
not.
That's a big thing, and you can tell this was a labor of love for him, like he building out this elaborate kind of world, kind of coming up with all the alien trees and the way their village looks and stuff like that. I think it's a pretty good first issue.
Yep.
These things that Robert Kirkman does, they tend to become like, massive hit movies or animated shows.
Yep.
So it occurs to me that you might want to get in now, so that this is worth $1 million when that's normally I wouldn't advise people to worry about the financial investment, but it will be worth $1 million when this becomes a cartoon in 5 years.
Viking Moon is a book of Vikings versus werewolves from Image.
Yes. And it's like, it's there's a bit of historical research here. Yeah. Basically, the idea is that in roughly around 1000 AD, when Leif Erikson was traveling around, and I believe famously had like a short-lived colony in the Americas, but they didn't stay there, and nobody, I guess, I think it's kind of a mystery in the real world as to like why didn't they continue to settle or whatever. And they're like, oh, well, maybe it's, what if there was monsters?
What was that book that Image did that was kind of a
Manifest Destiny?
Yeah, Manifest Destiny.
Yeah, that was about Lewis and Clark traveling across America, and the secret reveal that America had monsters.
Yeah, so it's a little bit of a stripe of that. Yep. But I actually thought the Viking stuff was really interesting.
You likened it to, I think, something that's very proper. What was that movie?
Eaters of the Dead.
13th Warriors.
Or 13th Warriors
is what it became.
Kind of what it became.
Michael Crichton wrote the book, The Eaters of the Dead, which became the pretty cool movie 13th Warrior. If you're a fan of 13th Warrior, you're probably going to want to check this out.
So I'd forgotten this. The guy's name, the artist, Marcelo Fursan.
Yeah.
He did a ton of Hellblazer, and he worked on the Western Love List with Brian Azzarello over at Vertigo.
That makes a lot
of
sense.
He is incredibly good.
Yep.
I have not actually read this yet. I just
Argentinian artist.
Skimmed it. That makes sense, because it's reminding me of like Leandro Fernandez.
Yep.
Also, it's just a point of thing. I'd never thought about it. I knew it. But like the Vikings coming over, these ships were not giant. And they stayed on them for like ever.
Right.
And I'm just like, it's literally just like a shotgun kind of thing. There's no like deck to go below or anything.
Right.
And it's just
in
like
its way, they look like big canoes.
Yeah, they're big canoes. And there's some interesting stuff there. Just visually, it's a very striking book.
Yep. I think if you've got the Viking fondness, and a lot of people do, I know.
Yeah. Well, the Viking show lasted for quite some time.
That was a good show. Viking Moon is the book. Yeah, check it out.
New version of The Phantom from Mad Cave. These guys are also doing like I believe Speed Racer for sure. Flash Gordon.
The Phantom as in the ghost who walks.
The ghost who walks.
The
Slam Evil.
Hero.
At no point does anyone say Slam Evil, and I was disappointed in that. Now, partly that's because...
Was that strictly a 90s thing?
That was a 90s thing. It's never occurred in any other Phantom. It is not part of the... But for me, that was the defining aspect of the Phantom. Yes.
That is the Billy Zane Phantom.
But anyway, this is pretty fun. If you know the Phantom, you'll get the general... It's him. He is actually married or living with Diana from... who is his girlfriend in the jungle.
Yep.
And he is helping defend a village from the Sang Brotherhood.
He is generally speaking a pulp jungle fighter, right? That's his thing.
He rides a horse named Spirit. He has a wolf named Devil, and he's kind of a Daredevil-esque, like grinning guy who fears nothing, and also has guns. He shoots people.
Oh, that's true.
Dark Horse has Orphan and the Five Beasts: Bath of Blood. This is a return to the sort of weird kung fu magic thing that
Orphan and the Five Beasts was the name of the original one.
Yes, this is James Stokoe's world.
Right.
Has gorgeous artwork.
We've talked about Stokoe a lot over the years, but if the name doesn't ring a bell for you, I think the projects he's best known for are actually his Godzilla things.
Yeah.
He did Godzilla in Hell, a one-shot, and he also did Godzilla Forever... not Forever War, but...
Cross Time or
Century War.
Half-Century War, yes.
Yeah. Which followed a soldier who, over the course of 5 decades, kept running into Godzilla as he moved up in the ranks in the Japanese military. And Stokoe is known for his wild, detailed designs. He's got... there's no other artist like him, and if you haven't seen it, look him up online. Find his Spider-Man in Vietnam artwork that he did for a hypothetical project, which will probably never be made. But... anyway, yeah, this is his. You would say a take on. Is it like wuxia kind of stuff? I forget.
Yeah, that's about right.
Kind of like Chinese, kind of like fantasy art. I think I saw
with the sort of ultra violence that Stokoe does a lot of.
Right. A little bit of oh man, what's that? What was that samurai show on what you call it?
I don't know.
The zombie one?
No. Sorry, it's not going to come to mind. It's the animated thing from the 90s or early 2000s.
I don't know.
All right, I'll come up with it. No, I'll come up with it in a minute.
All right.
But what I meant is like Ninja Scroll and stuff like that, yeah, it has that ultra-violence thing too.
Conan Scourge of the Serpent is a strange story that sees in what's called the Thurian Age. I don't know what age that is. A team up between Conan, Kull the Conqueror, and what looks like I don't think it's actually Sherlock Holmes, but is a Holmesian type.
Is it another character from...
It's across time, and they all seem to be Robert E. Howard characters.
Right, I was going to say, I know he did some other pulp-type characters, including, Solomon Kane and Kull. So that probably is one of his other characters that I just don't know.
It seems to be a story taking place in 3 different eras, but they're all, psychically connected or something. So, very interesting.
That sounds kind of fun. The Howard verse.
Yeah.
Or League of Extraordinary Howard characters. I don't know. That doesn't roll off.
Anyway, Jim Zub writes. He's been doing Conan for a while now. Art by Ivan Gill, who I don't know who he is, but it's gorgeous artwork. Really nice.
What is that for? For the Conan thing?
Yeah.
Is it still their influence for a while when they launched this new one was John Buscema's era?
It's definitely got that vibe. Yeah, for sure. And then we've got new printings of Absolute Martian Manhunter 1 through 5.
Yep.
So if you're going to catch up the entire series, we have it. Absolute Wonder Woman number 1 through 9. Plus, I think we still have 10 and 11.
I think so.
And 12 comes out this week. So it is possible to get all of Absolute Wonder Woman.
Yep.
It is the only one we still have trades and hardcovers on. Now is your best, and I won't say last, but it may be last chance to jump on the beginning.
That's true.
To get all these things.
Incidentally, Absolute Wonder Woman, I believe this staff favorite series.
All of our favorites. This issue this week definitely sealed that for me. It's probably my favorite thing I read this week.
It's super good.
Along with that, we've got reprints of Battle Beast number 1 and number 3, which brings me to have 1 through 5 on the back issue wall.
Yep.
So you can collect all of that. Also, we all enjoy that book.
It's a ton of fun.
And then other single issues. Second issue of Immortal Legend Batman, the sort of Mighty Morphin Power Ranger Batman, which is pretty fun.
Yeah, I want to read that. I enjoyed the first one.
The Mortal Thor number 2, which I know we all kind of dug.
Dug the second issue just as much.
Black Cat number 2, her transition to being a hero.
Yep.
Invisible Man issue 2, which we all really liked. I don't know, Nick, if you got a chance to read that.
I didn't get a chance to read that.
But me and Dave and Serena all really
enjoyed it. It's so creepy.
Yep.
I'm just going to mention one thing that's there's a bit where, because he's a chemist. He's an evil chemist. And he's talking to his employer at some point, Nick. They did a little of this in the first issue. And the employer is kind of dressing him down like, hey, you got to stop doing some of this stuff you're doing, or you're being a little bit of a pain in the ass to some of your other guys there. Yeah. He's like, you got to rein that in. And he's like, he kind of is like, okay. He's like, yeah, I'll do that. And then there's this sudden flash of a panel of him, like, crushing the guy's head, like, putting his eyes out. That's just, like, just his imagination. Yeah. He's like, I will kill you. And he's just like, and then he says, like, okay, I'll make it happen. Whatever you say. This dude is scary. He's creepy in a cool way. Tinian is writing all these great scenes. And there's a disturbing invisible cat in it, too.
Yep.
Oh,
that is, like, killing everything that it can find.
Sure.
Escape number 2. This is Rick Remender and Daniel Acuna's World War II by way of Furry Animals book.
Yep. It's like Black Sad in a World War II setting.
I'm not always a Remender fan, but I really like this second issue.
You told me there's a very interesting perspective, because the first issue ends with this guy's, it was this tense thing. They're on a bombing run. Yep. And they get shot down, and so at the end of the first issue, he's one of the maybe few or only survivors.
He's alone. He is alone. The bombing run was supposed to hit something called the Titan Cannon of the Bats, who are the Nazis.
Right.
And
it's
so
like an occupied city.
He has a map that he's going to use. He's got explosives, and he's going to try and make his way solo to blow up the Titan Cannon. And then it jumps back to 2 years earlier when he was basically a stunt pilot and flying around in carnivals, kind of like the Rocketeer.
Yeah.
And he meets this sort of firebrand woman. She and her dad are political organizers for Walter Donovan, who is running for president on an interventionist thing. He's like basically.
You said he's sort of apolitical.
He's apolitical, right? But he likes her, and so they kind of get together, and then it tells their story and how what led to him becoming the pilot of a bomber run.
Right, and so you kind of like before he begins his attempt to escape or to destroy this thing, you kind of get the emotional stakes and the character stakes.
It's a really well done story.
I'm looking forward to reading it, and I know we obviously know Daniel Acuna's art is good, but it is one of the. I think none of us have ever been big Remender fans,
nope.
Even though he is one of our big prolific authors here, and he's got a strong following. Yep. And I'll say this: I don't dislike him the way I do some authors. I'm not even going to say who they are. Y'all know who they are. Rhymes with blom bling. But anyway, this one is kind of connecting, and so I'm hoping to continue enjoying it.
Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees, Rite of Spring, number 3.
Yep.
More of the bear who killed many people, including the brother of the other lead character who's trying to figure out who killed him. And she is... This is a flashback to her first kill, which was very creepy and well done.
Cool. There was so much stuff this week. There's a lot I haven't read yet, so I'm looking forward to reading that.
Ultimate Spider-Man number 21 as we race toward the end of Hickman's run.
Yep.
Some big doings with the Mysterio cult in here. X-Men number 22, which is the dawn of the Age of Revelation.
I really like this issue. There's a ton going on in it, but I'm liking all of these scenes.
Some great conversations between characters.
It is a bridge between what they had been doing and what they're going to be doing. I thought it was really well done.
I thought Juggernaut specifically got a very
Juggernaut gets some really good
scene.
stuff. Yeah.
There's a discussion in there of hey, is it okay if the X-Men kill sometimes? And it's an interesting sequence.
Because they do have a lot of killers on this team.
They do. Yep. And Cyclops is also trying to rein in Magic, who's maybe getting a little out there, but I love how he's writing her.
Yep.
And then there's Doug Ramsey, who we know is Revelation himself from the Age of Revelation. He's the heir of Apocalypse, they call him.
Mackay is the only person who does anything using evil Xavier well.
Yeah.
When he's basically able to say, hey, well, your dad's Xavier, so maybe you shouldn't judge someone's mentor.
Yeah.
I was like, God, I hate that's Xavier, but I love that he made that work.
Right. There is an interesting perspective on this that's a little bit like... I was telling Randy, Nick, you know how in the newer Star Wars trilogy, whatever else one might think about it, there was a kind of an interesting idea of Kylo Ren saying, hey, we don't have to be like our old selves, Rey. We can reinvent this. We can work together. It doesn't have to, I don't have to be the Emperor. You don't have to be Luke or whatever. There is something of that is kind of in the conversations between Doug Ramsey, heir of Apocalypse, and Cyclops, heir of Xavier, happening here. And it's a lot of interesting sequences.
We also have issue 4 of Emma Frost's White Queen, the penultimate. This is her basically ascending back to White Queen after being cut out by a traitor. This takes place in a Hellfire Club in Las Vegas. she's basically going around looking for her allies.
Yep.
And so they're introducing a lot of sort of characters into her past. She gets betrayed, winds up out in the desert with junked sentinels coming back to life.
Yep.
It's a really interesting little bit. And she is rescued by kind of a surprising face who I don't think was connected to her this early.
That is quite the panel there.
It is. It's really cool. And it's basically it's a thing addresses a thing which I think we've never really seen addressed in the comics, that Sebastian Shaw was known to be funding Sentinels.
That's right.
So he was a race traitor to mutants.
Right. I think he was like, we want the elite on top,
Yeah.
and the lesser mutants can.
Which kind of is a red wedge between White Queen and her, because White Queen is a true believer in mutant rights.
Is she?
Yeah, for sure. She had her kids, the Hellions and all that. Like,
That's
yes,
true.
She was somewhat evil, but she always was a true believer.
Even back in those days, she had a sort of dark maternal thing going on for them.
She had a group of evil students who were evil.
Yes. I mean,
but she was like,
but she was not.
right.
They definitely seemed like they'd be at odds, and I thought it was interesting to put that more in the forefront here.
Yeah.
And the other character who guest stars with her
There's
is
been
also
some consistently interesting stuff in that series. I haven't liked every single part of it, but I think it's one of the more interesting takes that I've seen recently.
Yeah, I enjoy it.
And it's rooted in a lot of her history, and I thought that they've done a pretty good job with it.
I also think it is funny how many X-Men villains have become heroes because of shifting morality, where I'm like, you know what? Juggernaut's right about this.
Right.
I don't like it, but
Magneto's right about that.
Magneto's right.
Queen's
Yeah,
right
White
about
Queen's
this.
right.
And well, we better just... The X-Men is one of the few cases where, like, Black Panther can't say, like, Killmonger, you're on the Wakandan Council. But the X-Men will take in anyone.
Oh, no, he could definitely put... I think Killmonger on the Wakandan Council would work now.
Oh, okay, let's do it.
You're like, wait,
you're saying an apocalypse. We're good.
You're saying we should tear down all the power structures that are based around oppressing black people throughout the world? Yeah, man, I think we're good with that.
The Wakandan Council recognizes Mr. Munger.
Please, my father was Mr. Munger. Call me Kill.
Call me Kill. I love it. I'm ready for this series.
Godzilla Destroys the Marvel Universe #3. This is the 90s era X-Men, mostly, versus Godzilla in Madripoor. After, I believe, Dormammu teleports him there.
Madripoor is a cool setting for a Godzilla fight.
That's fun.
And this team is Colossus, Wolverine, Rogue, Gambit, Nightcrawler, and Jean Grey. It's a fun team.
Yeah.
They're in their classic, like, Rogue is in her green and yellow Jim Lee costume.
Yeah.
Like, it is a fun era. Enjoyed that one quite a bit. Third issue of Predator Black, White, and Blood with some 3 stories in that. Absolute Wonder Woman we mentioned. Superman Unlimited #5. Really enjoyed this book.
Yeah, I feel like it's the flagship Superman book for me right now.
Me too. Yeah, 100%.
This is Dan Slott. It's his first big DC project. I know he's probably done something in the past, but it's his first really big one.
This is the Dan Slott who made me fall in love with Spider-Man.
Yeah, and he's doing both, like, a lot of interesting world building in this. There's the invented, is it South American country?
Yes.
That has, like, kind of, what do they have? This massive kryptonite
mine, like a meteorite crash, and they're mining kryptonite, which it turns out is a great energy source.
Right, and so the leader of the country seems initially kind of like a wily despot kind of guy, but he's kind of gets a sort of a deeper look in this issue that's pretty interesting. There's also a lot of good kind of world building, and I'm loving what's going on with the Daily Planet, with their intern from Gorilla City, Tina, and just where all of that's going. There's a bunch of good supporting cast in the book right now. Like, I feel like he's building out the world in the best way I've seen in Superman in a while.
Their leader of El Caldero, the sort of kryptonite city, is a really good character.
Yeah, that's the one I was talking about. He's initially appears to be just a despot, and he's definitely not altogether nice. Yeah. But you get his perspective in this, and it's kind of interesting.
Also, the art by Raphael Albuquerque is gorgeous.
Yeah, I think it's the Superman flagship.
There is the other Superman book, Superman, is also out this week.
I'm glad you're enjoying Superman Unlimited.
This is where your heart is?
I think my heart is in this kind of 2000s-esque kind of fan service no holds barred kind of.
So I will tie break this and say Dave is correct, but I am enjoying Superman as well.
I think Joshua Williamson has found a mode for Superman, and it's heightened by Dan Moore's artwork.
Yeah, for sure. Which he's not the artist on this one.
Yes,
he is.
is.
Okay. Oh, he wasn't on Justice League this week.
Right.
He only did 4 books this month.
But,
what a slacker.
He's given a very interesting backstory to the Evil Legion.
Right. You get a little kind of an origin for them in the beginning.
Irma is scary.
Yeah.
Or is it Imra?
Imra.
Yeah.
Yes. But
AKA Saturn Girl. To the people out there who don't know the first names of every Legionnaire.
We get Superboy Prime, a character that is kind of dumb and tawdry. And,
I have never liked the Superboy Prime since they made him evil.
Yeah.
Until kind of now.
I hate Superboy Prime. I hated him less in this issue.
But he got an arc.
He is sort of not quite Deadpooling it, but he is aware of the sort of fictional world that he lives in. And he, like at some point he's like...
He's not Deadpool.
He's not Deadpool, and it's pretty entertaining.
Yeah. But also there's still kind of respect for Superman.
Well, in kind of a way. Josh Williamson has never like crapped on Superman. He writes a pretty classic Superman.
And I like that Booster Gold is back and kind of... It's just doing some interesting stuff. I'm curious.
Well, you know what I kind of like about both Superman books right now? They're a little unpredictable.
Yeah.
I kind of don't like... Yeah, I kind of know... Superman is a person who you generally kind of know out where he's going to lean in a given situation.
Yeah.
But, like, the plots in these are a little bit wilder right now, and it's... I think maybe Morrison, what he did when he had his run on All-Star, and what we've also seen in the Kryptonite thing from the Ice Cream Man guy, is he kind of was like, you know what? Superman's most fun if you have a little bit of Silver Age fun with him.
Yeah.
And so I think he brought back a little wildness that still, even when he's not writing, Morrison's not writing, that energy still kind of flows through. And they picked up on it in different ways.
I also, Justice League Unlimited this week, Mark Waid is a direct tie-in to Superman and Booster Gold. This issue, they both end in the same place.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
So while the Dark Legion is fighting Superman, Darkseid has sent some like evil, powerful parademons to destroy the Watchtower and to try and eliminate the Time Trapper, who is also Doomsday. And that's all going on in the midst of all this, and it's going to lead into a special Justice League next week, written by Joshua Williamson, and then into DCKO, which I think is part of my reluctance of it all. I'm a little wary about anything leading into a big crossover. But also everything I've seen so far looks interesting, so we'll see where that goes. We get the long-delayed 3rd issue of New History of the DC Universe.
Yep.
This is Mark Waid covering the post-crisis era all the way up to the Flashpoint era. So a lot of new characters.
What would be 90s and 2000s lore for DC.
Yep. Introduction of Harley Quinn, introduction of Starman, the Justice Society, Birds of Prey.
Drawn by Doug Mankey?
Yeah.
Who people will probably know best for like his work during the Blackest Night, Jeff Johns era of Green Lanterns, and like
it's
the Green Lantern
Dan
Corps.
Jorgen's doing some artwork in there too.
I think this is definitely a series for people who only casually know the DC Universe. This will catch you up on everything.
Yeah, it's true.
It has a little too much retconning going on for me where I'm like, wait, that's not what happened. And so it kind of, there's cognitive dissonance when I'm reading it.
Right.
But it is very well done. I see what he's doing.
I have not read this latest issue, so I can't comment on it. But like, I know my DC history pretty well. I kind of am liking seeing the way... I kind of like seeing how they make the retconning work, because that is the nature of DC.
Yeah, it's true.
Love it or hate it, it is kind of baked into it at this point.
That is true.
That's kind of how it works, and seeing how Mark Waid does it, how he makes the pieces fit, I'm generally on board.
It is the kind of world building, kind of piece moving stuff that I kind of like.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think you're right. Detective Comics 1101 starts a new storyline. This is Tom Taylor and Mikhail Janin, so beautiful artwork.
That art is insane. I'm flipping through it, and I haven't read this yet.
Basically, Batman versus what is like Contagion.
So yeah, this basically starts. Batman there's a ship that crashes into that hits a party boat. So Batman goes out. He does a deep sea rescue of a woman who fell off the boat. with some cool stuff with his like bat plane doing some cool stuff.
Yep.
Then he goes on the board the ship that hit them, and everyone on there is dead, and something weird is going on, and basically he figures out it's some kind of contagion.
No relation to the literal use of that word before No Man's Land.
No,
but there's a mystery as to what happened.
There's a thing, and he goes to a DC ally to figure it out, and it's
cool.
I'm interested to see where it goes. This feels like classic Marshall Rogers. Who wrote those era?
Steve Englehart.
Steve Englehart, Marshall Rogers, Batman to me.
Yeah.
Smart and clever and mystery.
Little slightly darker.
Yeah.
Where Batman will be the sort of more superhero book. This will be the little darker.
Yeah.
But Tom Taylor doesn't go full dark.
No. I mean,
but it's pretty dark.
It's more. He is doing the detective-y thing. He's got a mystery to deal with.
Yep.
And yes, he still has all the toys. The way that Mikhail Janin draws the bat's wing, where it is also like the bat submarine, and it like drives the party boat away, and he's got his toys and that kind of thing as well. So he is still Superman,
got superhero
Batman,
stuff.
But he is the detective, and I really like the distinction being made when you're having multiple books.
Yeah.
In the same way that Superman and Superman Unlimited, they're both very different books, but both very worthy. I think that Detective and Batman are both right now very worthy.
I see you've neglected to mention the best comic that came out this week.
Did I? What was the best comic?
Jeff the Landshark #4.
You're right. I don't care about Jeff the Landshark.
Jeff is a delight, and no one can deny his amazing team up with Krypto in the Deadpool Batman.
You're right
However,
about that.
this team up with Elsa Bloodstone in the Savage Land fighting dinosaurs, specifically a T-Rex, is pretty damn awesome.
Well, the cover is amazing because it shows like a herd of different dinosaurs, very beautifully drawn by, this is probably Guruhiro or something like that.
Tokiga Koro?
Oh, Toki Takoro, yeah, who's like, I think also the interior artist.
Yep.
Anyway, Jeff is marching along with them, and he's wearing a little Triceratops costume as like a little doggy costume.
Yes.
It's the art in this, and I flip through these now every time. I'm maybe not the world's biggest Jeff fan, but I have become a Jeff fan.
Yeah, I've
the
become
artwork wins me over every time. There is a variant cover this week, where it looks to me like he is singing karaoke with Korean superhero Luna Snow.
Luna Snow, yeah.
And just the look on his face as he's belting it out is amazing.
Well, and the tease for next issue is him teaming up with Ilyana and Wanda.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, sure.
Yeah,
I'm for it. There's some great stuff in there.
The only other comic I was going to mention, Randy, is there's a... Tim Seeley writes another one of these Masters of the Universe comics he does. But we didn't have the art with... It's like a mini-series. It's called Masters of the Universe, The Sword of Flaws.
Right.
And I started to flip through it, and I was kind of impressed at the world building that Tim Seeley was doing. And it has that art from Freddie Williams, who did the like Batman TMNT
really
crossovers.
Good. Yeah.
And I was very impressed. To me, it was like... It had like... I didn't notice there was like an action sequence in there, like using vehicles and stuff from the toy line. But his lore is, of course, deeper than the cartoon was.
Yeah.
And I feel like this is kind of... I am not the target audience for He-Man. I had He-Man figures back in the day. I have some fondness, but I'm not the biggest fan. But if I was going to be reading a He-Man comic, this would be it. It seems like it has the coolest old-school stuff with some new modern depth to it, but it's also not an attempt to make it, like, super dark. Yeah, like this was a cool opening. I think people should check it out if you are a He-Man person.
Yep. Lots of trades this week. Amazing Spider-Man Epic Edition, big time. This was the start of Dan Slott coming back to Amazing Spider-Man, or starting Amazing Spider-Man.
Yeah.
So this was like post One More Day. Everyone was mad at Spider-Man. This was like the new continuity with just some new girlfriends, new villains.
This was at a point where we
turned out really good.
It was not good. We thought it was like, oh, none of this new stuff is going to take. Yep. But like Dan Slott kind of like he like did the work.
I believe it also includes like Mark Waid and some other people. It was like there were multiple writers, but this is
was Mark Guggenheim in that mix?
Yes, I think he was.
Yeah.
This was a good era for Spider-Man, so it's kind of cool they're reprinting
Mr. Negative and stuff like that. Yeah, characters who actually would go on to be used more prominently and a bit more recognized. But this is all the start of it. I think if people are looking for just some good Spider-Man stories,
they're a good Spider-Man.
You'd get a big treasure trove in these epic collections.
Art of Fantastic Four, which I believe is movie related, Dave. I don't know if did you see this when it came? Okay. That we got Art of Fantasy 4 book. A new hardcover, oversized from Dark Horse called Beasts of the Four Nations, Creatures from Avatar and Korra. If you know those, they have a lot of the mutant, the merged animals.
Right, like the platypus bear or something
platypus bear, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So this is all the different beasts. I have not picked this up yet, but I think I'm only so strong I will probably wind up picking it up.
It was one of their... it's not like a key part of the show except in its visuals.
Yeah.
But every single time some animals showed up, I loved their weird animals.
What are the ones that the digging? They're moles and badger moles.
Badger moles,
yeah.
And their designs were so good on those.
Yeah. So I'm very tempted. This is probably going to be a really great book.
I bet it is.
And it's also I think it's not just art. It is also like a lore book, essentially.
Interesting.
Yeah. The Beauty, the story about a strange sexually transmitted disease that makes you beautiful and then kills you.
Yep.
This is Jeremy Hahn's sort of horror suspense book.
And obviously dealing with thematics of beauty, mystique, and all of that.
And I believe
stuff.
it is the FBI's anti-beauty task force that is the center of it.
Yeah.
But
is beauty the name of the drug?
Beauty is the name of the disease.
Oh, the disease. Right,
Yes.
right. Yeah. Okay.
And so this is book 1. It's being collected for the first time in a long time by Ignition
This always
Press.
had a pretty solid following at our store, and I know people who read it really dug it. So
worth reading if you haven't. And there's
if
about
any of that intrigues you, and I think after the body horror thing with Demi Moore, what's that called?
What was that called, Nick?
Substance.
The
Yes,
substance. There's some overlapping of thematics here, and I think it might people who like that might like this.
I agree. It's a good call. And there is a new The Beauty #1 coming out soon, so they're going to continue the story.
There we go.
Challenge of the Unknown, which I believe is the Jeff Loeb, Tim Sale stuff.
Is it?
I don't know. I wasn't here.
No, it's the new Challengers of the Unknown. That's the
it's the new one. Okay.
This is the Challengers of the Unknown, who are like are they like the tech guys?
They're the
on the
they're the support crew for the Justice League.
Right. So this is their solo miniseries.
Yep. Okay. Codename GI Joe Deluxe, the hardcover that collects Scarlet and Destro.
Oh, so there's I didn't notice this. The hardcover collecting both the kind of side miniseries.
This is the second volume. The first one had Duke and Cobra Commander.
Yeah.
And leading into
I think we've enjoyed to varying degrees all of the miniseries. Yep. So
I'm enjoying. I'm looking forward to. I got the hardcover. So
if you have the means,
if
you have the means.
There's a lot of deluxe hardcovers this week. Actually, there's also the Doctor Strange by Jed Mackay Compendium or the omnibus.
Yeah.
Which if you know me, I love the omnibus format. I love Jed Mackay, so this is the day one pickup for me.
Yep. Who was the artist on his?
I don't remember.
Thing. Okay,
somebody good, but I
can't quite remember either. I remember it was somebody good.
JLA Earth 2 gets a reprint of the deluxe hardcover. This is Grant Morrison and Frank Quitely.
Yeah, if you like that team from whether it's We 3 or New X-Men or anything other projects that they did.
This is their Evil Justice League.
Yeah, Morrison had a good time writing these bad guys, I could tell. Wasn't his Flash all cooked up and stuff like that?
Yes, I believe he was. Yep.
It was fun. It was a good dark stuff from his iconic Justice League era run.
Rare Flavours Deluxe hardcover. This is by Saladin Ahmed and Ram V. Right.
Ram V. Yeah.
Ram V and I forget who the other artist is, but the two of them did that book. What's the other book they did?
Many Lives of
Layla Starr.
Layla Starr.
This is their second book about a Rakshasa. So there was a demon that eats
their second
people.
book about a Rakshasa.
No, their second book.
Oh, comma. Oh.
About a Rakshasa.
Gotcha.
Comma.
Yes.
Parentheses.
Carry on.
A demon that eats people, essentially.
Yeah.
Deciding it would rather be a food critic.
Yeah.
He still eats people.
He still eats people, but he wants to be a food critic, Nick.
He wants to be an Anthony Bourdain type.
Yes.
I feel like Ram V is at his best on these kind of wilder projects.
Yeah.
And he works with some really talented artists.
Although his New Gods is good.
His New Gods is good.
New Gods is great.
But it's also weird.
It's also weird.
But prior to recent times, I hadn't really been following him closely. I think he has hit a certain stride.
Yeah, for sure.
And but yeah, these are his passion projects, I think.
Yeah.
And he works with terrific artists on them. And if you want to see a Rakshasa food critic, where else are you going to go?
Yeah. What other stories?
Those are a dime a dozen.
You think there's some
Dave.
video game about that? You think there's some Netflix show? You're wrong.
It's a Food Network show.
We got the Monstress Compendium, which is the big trade version of the first, 3, 4, I don't know how many.
Is this the Monstress?
Monstress, yes.
One, yeah.
I would assume akin to the Invincible.
Yeah, like the Invincible.
So
it's
like 8.
Yeah,
because there are.
I think if you've been considering this, or you've read a little bit and you want the big bite, Just go look at the art on it. Like,
Yeah.
There's a solid chance that will be the deciding
What's the
factor.
artist's name? Is it
Son Takeda?
Takeda.
Yeah, I think it's kind of like a dark fantasy world, and if you see that art and it's your jam, you should just dive
gorgeous.
Yep. And then we got Ultimate Spider-Man Volume 3 come out trade.
in. Right,
Yep,
those things
it's
are
coming fast and
moving pretty quickly.
There are plenty of other trades. That's just the highlights.
Yep.
We're going to take a break, and then we're going to talk about some news and maybe some stuff we've been watching.
There's a lot of comics.
All right, so they dropped a trailer for Mandalorian and Grogu,
Yes.
the movie.
Right. Not a series. I was not 100. I had kind of forgotten. But
And
yes,
we watched it just now, and it's pretty good.
yeah, this is one of those. It's not a story trailer.
It's all visuals.
It's an action and vibes trailer.
Yeah.
Although it kind of starts out slow with Mandalorian and Grogu just watching something from like these dunes or something, and Grogu's got his little scope, his little telescope
which is very
thing.
cute.
And
He tries to steal food from Sigourney Weaver using his force powers.
right, and she
not having it.
she grabs it and pulls it back. She's like,
Yeah, and he gets all sad.
Yeah.
And then it gets to some cool action stuff. I spotted Zeb from Rebels, which is really cool.
Kind of a blurry thing, but he's doing some kind of hallway fight and leaping off a wall.
We see some monsters. We see a jacked up Hutt in a fighting arena.
Yep, he's kind of in silhouette, but it's clearly a Hutt, and he looks like he's swole.
Yep.
Swoll
Hutt.
He's Swoll Hutt.
Also, just the visuals.
Yeah.
They're
And
showing,
then
like,
that bit,
the
they show them.
starfighters and the
They showed them destroying an AT-AT and it falling off a cliff, and it is one of the coolest
It
things
is
I've
like
ever seen.
it's like there's like a trio at least of AT-ATs that are walking along what looks like kind of like a mountain path.
Yep.
And
who?
it's a dangerous spot for them.
I was going to say, what Imperial was like, let's go on this path. This is great.
The Imperials don't
maybe
care
it's
about
the only
troops.
path. Also, yeah, they don't care. They just
That's
overwhelm. They just
Yeah.
they'll throw anything.
Yeah.
But yeah, Mando like leaps out. He's clearly like planted a bomb or whatever it is he did to it. It blows up, and you see it like falling off of this whole ass path down the mountain. It looks cool.
It does.
Yeah.
It looks really cool. I was a little skeptical because the last season of The Mandalorian was not my favorite.
That was when they were doing their weird sort of crossover with Boba.
Yeah.
Was it? Yeah.
I liked it.
Actually, Boba Fett kind of completed some of that stuff. Was that when they were doing some of the stuff with who's the actress? Kitty Sackhoff, her character.
Yeah.
Where they were doing some stuff with her and whether she took over on Mandalore.
Right. It was just a lot of...
Did y'all read the behind the scenes stuff with her where she said that she like broke down in tears and had like a mental breakdown playing that character?
No.
And I hate to say it, but it sounded like the problem was she didn't feel like the character. She didn't know how to interpret. Who's the guy who's writing all of this?
Dave Filoni.
Dave Filoni. I think she kind of thought the character was flat, and in trying to find whatever to sink her teeth into about the character, which I think it's just like, it's just kind of like you. You know.
Yeah.
She struggled so hard that she like had a breakdown.
Oh man.
Because there was, and I can kind of get it. Sometimes the writing, when I think he's at his weakest, and for instance, I thought most of Ahsoka is just god awful boring to me. It's like prequel era boring stuff, but like specifically Jedi Council stuff. And anyway, but yeah, I know that was going down in last season of Mando, and I didn't think that she was terrible on it, but I also didn't think she kind of stood out.
Yeah.
So yeah, I get that the last season was a little bit meh, with some good stuff in it, I'm sure.
But putting Mandalorian and Grogu back at the center of things, and it looks just like a fun kind of adventure.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where it shines.
Yeah.
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 Well, what's interesting is I've seen Star Wars shine in a bunch of different ways.
Yep.
Like Andor was amazing, but it was like completely not escapist.
Well, no. I wasn't specifically
saying Mando.
I was specifically saying Mando.
Yeah,
when he's kind of at adventure action,
Yeah.
that is kind of that's the sweet spot for that character.
He's like a pulp hero. He is like, the bad guy with with a heart of gold kind of guy.
Well, and the titling, the font, and the kind of
it looked
and
pulp,
I've seen
a little bit like Raiders of the Lost Ark.
And I've seen the poster for it. It is definitely pulp. I think that's on brand.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed this trailer. More than I expected to.
Yep,
So
agreed.
This is another one of those shows that like whenever it's off the air, I'm like, oh, it's okay, and then when it comes back, I'm like, oh no, that's one of my favorite things.
When I was a kid and I saw Boba Fett and like probably first heard the word Mandalorian sometime in like 1982 or something like that. I probably, if someone had said, there's one day going to be a very highly successful show and movie called The Mandalorian and Grogu that's about a little baby version of that Yoda character you just saw in Empire Strikes Back. Not actually him, but like him, his species. I'd be like, fuck you. There's no way.
I mean, you'd say that to our past selves.
Get
about
out.
half the things we have now.
Yes.
And they're like, no, that's not happening.
That's not going to happen. Yeah.
You're crazy.
Okay, a couple little bits of news here. Zach Kreger, the director of Weapons, has confirmed that they are working on a prequel movie for Aunt Gladys from Weapons. I don't know that I want this.
Yes, I'm into the idea of his weird ass whatever he does with that Resident Evil movie.
Yep.
But I kind of don't want a Weapons verse.
I don't either. I don't want more.
I thought Weapons was fantastic.
Same.
But and like could you do a good story of things? Yeah, but
I mean the story of
I actually didn't need to know her lore. They gave you kind of her motivation.
Yeah.
We can speculate a little bit about like, was she, what changed her? Was she always kind of doing the things she was, or did something happen to her? So obviously that actress is good.
There's an origin movie in it, but I don't know that you should make it.
So I'm going to play devil's advocate for a second because...
All right, devil.
Sure.
Go ahead, you white devil.
Okay. Zach Kreger, I kind of believe in him at
You
this
just trust him?
I mean, kind of, sort of.
It's kind of like what I did with Jordan Peele. I'm like, yeah, I'll trust whatever.
I mean,
you do.
he's only made 2 movies, so that's pretty short.
Yeah.
But they're pretty
But
exceptional.
also some very funny comedy sketches.
Yep.
The movies he's doing are exceptional. He seems to make the movies he wants to make. And I don't think this is like a cash grab. For him, it's kind of like what is... I've heard interviews with him. Mm-hmm. It doesn't sound like he is doing this because... It's like...
Weapons did good, so let's do more.
Yeah, let's do more of that. He's like, I have a story that I want to tell.
There is the thing, though, where I think it's like... someone can get a little up their own ass and be too many people around them are telling them how brilliant they are and saying, oh, what a cool and interesting new villain you've introduced. Oh, I'd love to find out more about her. And he's like, oh, well, I do have some notes that I came up with in the making of this. And they're like, oh, could you make that a movie? And he's like, well, I guess I am brilliant now.
Here's the thing. I am very I'm with you. I'm very skeptical on this. If they make it, I will go see it. Like... Zach Kreger?
Kreger? I think just Kreger.
Sure. Yeah, Kreger.
Has earned enough faith. Like Nick, I'm like, I'll watch whatever you do until you fuck up.
I agree. He has earned it. And by the way, Jordan Peele, I don't think I've liked anything as much as Get Out, but Get Out was incredibly exceptional.
Yeah.
And I've enjoyed every single other movie he's made.
Yep, same.
And I will always see them in the theater.
Yeah, and when I go back to them, I like them a little bit more. Yeah. Like, I didn't love Nope as much in the theater as I wanted to, but when I rewatched it, I'm like, no, it's a good movie.
I love Nope.
Yeah.
Nope is my favorite.
He's also one of those guys
over Get Out? Mm-hmm. That's crazy. Get Out is his best movie.
That's true.
And it's not close.
It's true.
I like the spectacle that is Nope.
That's fair.
Nick doesn't like teacups.
Oh, right. I forgot about Nick. Nick hates teacups and zombies.
And zombies.
Yeah.
And so that
I
was
do hate tea. So it fits.
Yeah.
Even my bullshit thing is true. But Nick, if I said Zach, what's his name? Zach Kreger?
Mm-hmm. I'm not sure what you're asking me. I don't know.
Zach
All right, let's say it is. Zachariah McGregor. Let's say he could do some new project that's just completely new one, or this Aunt Gladys thing, and you get to choose, Nick. What would you choose, Aunt Gladys or new? New. Say it.
They're both new. It's not like he's going to rehash the same story.
Aunt Gladys is a spin-off.
He's just making some dumbass notes, and he's going to make his version of the Nun shitty spin-offs of The Conjuring.
I don't think that's going to be accurate.
I think I would absolutely say I would rather him do a new thing. But if he does it, I'll watch it.
Yeah, I think this is where we all agree is obviously he's a creator who has yet to have a failure, and his successes are really big. So
as long as Amy Madigan is back as Gladys,
and creators left to their own devices have only ever produced great art.
That's true.
Like George R. R. Martin,
and
Frank Miller.
Frank Miller.
I do think it's inevitable that'll hit
James
a miss.
Cameron. Maybe,
all
but
directors do.
Well, all directors do, but like Jordan Peele, I feel like is 3 for 3.
3 for 3
movies. He has produced some things I didn't like.
Yeah.
His Twilight Zone was a shit stain.
It was
No,
terrible.
I was just actually I don't think it was terrible. I think it had a lot of good
The
stuff
thing
in
that
it.
came out this week that he produced is getting
Him is getting panned, yeah.
Oh yeah.
And I could kind of see that. I was hoping there was more to it, but apparently there isn't.
But his personal projects, like
but stuff he does.
I mean, I know
directs-
he's got a new one coming out.
He also, not till 2027, as it turns out.
Oh.
They just delayed it.
That's a long time.
Yeah.
man.
But apparently, he wanted weapons so badly that he fired his
pissed.
agency.
He
fired his
pissed.
managers for not getting it for him.
Wow.
Which, I don't know if he might have done it well, but like Zachariah Craigerston was the perfect guy.
But I will say, Zach Cregger has the Resident Evil movie and then another movie that he's doing. So
Yeah.
it's going to be a couple more
He could
original
even die
films.
before this happens.
His
Yeah.
plate is full. I will
We'll
say
be
that.
spared it.
Yes. And a little bit of Spider-Man Brand New Day news, in addition to the news that Tom Holland hurt himself doing a stunt.
Yep.
I
He's
did not hear
okay.
He's okay.
But he's got a concussion.
I did not hear this.
He has a concussion. They're
Yeah.
going to say he's got to
Did-
stop working
Did
for a little
John
while.
Bernthal throw him into a wall?
Probably.
He fell off of something when he was doing something.
It's clumsy,
Yeah.
is what you're saying.
Yes.
What are you, JJJ?
I've seen the theory. People are like, he talked again, and they had to do something.
Dave, I'm the devil. Did you not hear
Oh
me?
right.
Nick is the White Devil.
You gotta be the Al Pacino one. He's an
right.
absentee landlord.
And then, so they've cast Marvin Jones III, who, if you know him, you probably know him best as the Tobias Whale from Black Lightning.
Right.
But he voiced Tombstone in Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, which I remember that character having a voice.
Okay.
'Cause he was just like a gun-toting thug. But he is going to play the live-action version of Tombstone.
Sorry, what is this? The next Spider-Man?
The next Spider-Man.
The next Tom Holland
So
thing?
I don't know what Spider-Man's going to look like. It's interesting to see Tombstone introduced.
Yeah.
They're also going to have Sadie Sink and Liza Colin-Zayas. Don't know who the roles are.
There's a lot of speculation about Sadie Sink.
That she's going to be Gwen.
Yeah.
They're going to do a redhead Gwen as a flip.
And do it like a Spider-Gwen.
Or are they going to have
that'd
her?
be fun.
Are they going to have her dye her hair and this famous redhead actress is going
Well,
to
they
become
even
blonde?
was weirdly throwing out that she was Jean Grey, and I was like,
That'd be super weird.
that'd be super weird. But I think
people
Also,
like.
There's rumors that Mark
You know what?
Ruffalo
If you
is
become a
going
famous actress or a well-known actress and you have red hair, you will be cast as Jean Grey, or
It's
fans
true.
will want to cast
You
you.
have
Yes.
to be. It's instant law.
Yeah.
Mark Ruffalo is supposed to return as the Hulk, so
Oh, interesting.
I don't know exactly what's going to happen.
so.
in
We're
this
getting
movie.
Hulk, Punisher, Tombstone.
Right, because Punisher's in it.
Yeah.
Tombstone. I don't know what they're going to do, but honestly, weird as Sony's movies are, their Spider-Man movies with MCU have been on point.
Well, that's because I feel like Marvel's just heavily
Yeah.
influencing.
So hopefully they will get this one right.
I'm sure they will.
That's good casting though. So I'm excited.
Well, Tombstone was one of my favorite. Like growing up, I weirdly liked Tombstone.
And
quite a
Tombstone
bit.
played a big role in the new Spider-Man animated series.
Yeah. It was
He's
really
been kind of
cool.
rising to prominence in the comics lately, and even some of the stuff that I haven't liked has used him well.
Yeah.
Some of Zeb Wells' stuff, I thought.
Yeah,
with
Zeb
Ramina's
Wells
art.
wanted to be writing a Tombstone series. It
He
was very
absolutely
That's
did.
true.
So yes, I think it's a good time. This is his era.
clear. To real quick hit a couple things we've been enjoying. Robert Redford died this week. It's not a thing we were enjoying,
Right, but it's just on
but
our list.
it led me.
I'm the devil. I enjoy death.
It led me to watch a couple of his movies that I had not watched in a while. Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid,
Yep.
and The Sting, both of which are a lot of the same cast.
Yep.
They all have Robert Redford, Paul Newman, and Robert Shaw, aka the Quint from Jaws.
Both directed by George Roy Hill.
Both directed by George Roy Hill.
Yep.
Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid is directed from a near perfect script by William Goldman.
Yep.
And The Sting has a different writer who I don't remember the name of off the top of my head.
And the music of Scott Joplin.
Is that the
I
music?
believe?
Yeah.
Yeah, the entertainer.
Yes. So I watched both. Do you guys have fondness? I assume fondness for both these movies.
But especially for Butch Cassidy.
I was going to say, which one's your favorite
And I'm
of the
the
two?
flip. I love Butch Cassidy, but The Sting is. I can watch that as drop the hat.
And as
It's-
I'm going to once again be the tiebreaker here and say I actually am with Dave on this one.
That's funny
I
because
don't-
you're a con man and heist movie.
I should like The Sting better. But Butch Cassidy and Sundance has so much of a fun vibe between the two of them.
I love it.
I'll take my happy ending over your sad ending.
That is true. You know what? I actually don't see it as a sad ending. It's kind of like the Angel that ended with him being like, I want to fight that dragon.
Yeah.
I like the doomed heroism ending.
Yeah,
he went out with his bro.
Good for me. Yeah, those are good for me.
Also,
I will say both are, if not, they're very damn close to being perfect movies.
Agreed.
I agree, too.
Agreed. And also, very odd in the way they're filmed. Like, The Sting is a movie set in 1936 is very much of the 70s.
Yep.
And Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid is a Western that is very much of
like
the
70s.
70s. Like,
and 70s,
because there's a sequence in Butch Cassidy where Sundance picks up a bicycle with this newfangled... And there is a 2 or 3 minute scene, maybe 5 minutes, where he is riding around on this bicycle while his not girlfriend laughs and raindrops keep falling on my head. The 70s song just plays over it.
Yes. That was like Oscar nominated song for that.
Right. And so I just read this. I saw this little behind the scenes snippet just maybe 6 or 8 months ago that was talking about the making of the movie. And I think I want to say it was Robert Redford talking about it. And he said, like, first of all, I know that there was a casting thing with him. Like, he was not a name yet at that point, and they were like, this kid is not big enough to be opposite Paul Newman.
Yeah.
But so the events convinced people to do it. They liked him, basically.
Yep.
But the interesting thing is, he said that nobody, even the cast members themselves, knew what was going on. Like, director George Roy Hill, he had this vision of like a kind of a postmodern Western where there's kind of like smart alecky characters and banter that you didn't used to have in Westerns, not like this, and some modern music. There's like this a cappella track that they played during the South American heist sequence and getaway thing. And they... like, Robert Redford said, he's like, even I didn't quite get it. He's like, I didn't know what it was going to be. I thought it could easily flop. And from what I heard, interestingly, by the way, when it came out, like, in the first week, it did shit numbers. And the director was, like, pushing so hard for people to kind of, like, give it a second chance that he's, like, calling around and trying to set up screenings for more people to try it out. And... basically, then suddenly, like, word of mouth started to become a thing for it, and then it became big. But it's like, it followed a weird pattern. It was like nothing for a few weeks, and then it was huge.
Interesting.
Yeah. But anyway.
I'm a latecomer to both these. I think I only saw them like maybe 10 years ago or something like that, so I didn't grow up with them. I'm sure my dad, I know my dad was a big fan of them.
Yeah.
But, like, the first place I saw Butch Cassidy and Sundance is when I read William Goldman's book, and I read the script.
Oh, right.
And so I'd read the script before I saw the movie. And it is a near perfect script. It is really good. The banter between the two of them is perfect.
For people, I think people kind of know William Goldman, but he's the guy who also wrote The Princess Bride. He adapted Misery for the screen. He's won kind of all the awards, and he wrote one of, like, maybe the most famous book on screenwriting that there is. And he's like frequently quoted. So yeah, this is a guy who can write some perfect scripts. But yeah, they're kind of both good bromance stories.
The Sting is actually whereas Butch and Sundance is about a pair of, like, outlaws who run a gang,
likable outlaws, and the sort of also the woman kind of that's friend to both. And
no, she's girlfriend to Sundance Kid,
right?
And then but she and Butch. She's like, what do you think would have happened if we met earlier? There's definitely
a thing. Yeah.
But the Sting has Robert Redford as a con man whose partner gets killed as a result of them going after the wrong person. So he wants to take out the boss who killed his partner, who's played with perfection by Robert Shaw. Robert Shaw is this guy who is always serious, always mean, always angry. And, like, even when he's winning at poker, he's angry. He's this total rich dickhead.
He's got the gruffness, though.
They decided to take him by running a con where they set up a horse betting thing that's fake. No, it's
100% fake.
Well, they're like doing their own audio because it's like going to be heard over the radio.
They're getting information before
they're getting information if the races run.
The races are run, but they're pausing it a little bit to be ahead of it, so they know
who the winners are going to be.
Yeah, it's a clever and intricate scam.
But it's also got, like, Charles Durning as an asshole cop.
He's great in that.
Ray Walston, Harold Gould, just this cavalcade of amazing people doing what are essentially bit roles, but they are so good at what they do.
Yeah.
And the weird subplot with the assassin.
Yeah.
There's just a lot of wheels, and they all work. And they shouldn't.
Yeah.
I mean, there's some weird stuff in there.
Yeah, there is.
You know what's
but
one of my
works.
favorite random weird things, and to jump back to briefly to Butch Cassidy in there, is there's a bit where they're being pursued by a posse. Oh, this is actually like almost like, wasn't it like half the movie or something?
Yeah, yeah.
And like they can't lose them. And they keep on
they're
going,
like, who are these guys?
who are these guys?
I don't think we ever really find out. They're
just
run
a
by the
dedicated-ass posse.
Well, they're run by the guy whose banks they kept robbing.
Oh,
It's
right.
that industrialist, but that's all we know.
I mean,
By the way, this also that movie has an explosion in it that I don't know how they filmed it without killing a person.
anyone?
Because there's a bit where they're going to use some dynamite to
Yep.
blow up a safe in a train that they've stopped.
Yes.
And right before it happens, somebody says, "Think you used enough dynamite, Butch?" The train then, in the same frame, explodes.
Yes,
and
it's
this
great
is
bit.
pre-CG, no green screen, no anything. They clearly blew something up, and you like see the pieces, I think, like hit the person, like not far from it.
Yeah.
I'm like, how do they do that?
Yeah.
I guess it was like balsa wood or whatever, but Jesus.
Yeah, it's pretty great.
I mean, growing up, Robert Redford was big in my house. My mom loved him.
I know that you of us has easily watched the most of his movies.
There are a few ones that I've missed that I would like to go back and revisit.
Yeah, people should check out his oeuvre if you have not. He is worth your time.
But also Paul Newman is a huge part of why both of those movies work as well.
For sure. I would say either of these movies, like, if you just kind of wanted to start, would be great ones. If you're a fan of dramas, watch All the President's Men. And it'll also teach you something about the 70s journalism, integrity, and all of that.
I've never seen that one. I need to watch it this week.
Oh.
It's a good one. I don't know if Randy will quite like it because it does have that sort of... It's very 70s.
But also, I do have a fondness for journalism.
I think the scenes have a lot of meat to them.
It might have a lot of meaning for nowadays.
And I also like
a lot of meaning for nowadays.
I like a good buddy comedy, and Redford and Newman have a great chemistry.
And it's Redford and Dustin Hoffman.
Oh, that's right. It's not Redford Newman. This
also, by the way, not a comedy in any way.
Yeah.
Although there are humorous scenes.
Like...
just with like kind of their personal lives, and
it's
Dustin
not
Hoffman,
without humor.
Dustin Hoffman plays against type. He is not the likable guy.
Okay, all right. I'm curious to watch it.
By the way, the other secret weapon in that movie is Jason Robards as the editor of the paper.
Yes.
Okay. Always love Jason Robards.
Yeah.
All right, Dave, you're going to talk about the Con podcast.
Yeah,
this is James Caan's podcast.
It is in fact not. He's back from the dead.
With him being dead.
He could have recorded a secret podcast that they found in a landfill along with those ET cartridges.
Well, now we oversold it. No matter what this is, it can't be as good.
So right now, I don't know if this is like the first time they've ever done essentially a podcast audio play for something Star Trek related, but it's the first big one that they've ever done, and it is the sort of Khan had 2 appearances before the Wrath of Khan movie. He was on the '60s show, where they find this sleeper ship with Khan and the other augments, these people who are genetically modified, who were like kind of warlords and his faithful in like I guess in the period, I think in Star Trek, before or after there's like a nuclear war traditionally. I think it's meant to be after that.
I think it's after the
right.
eugenics wars or whatever they are.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you know what? I take it back. I think that's before the nuke stuff.
Is it really?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, all right.
But they've had to rearrange it a little bit, too.
Well, you don't know that much about Star Trek. You weren't ever on a podcast with it or anything.
I'm the casual in my group.
I know.
But anyway, but they eventually were ousted and they went into space in, like, hypersleep, which was, like, kind of a new idea in the 60s. Kirk finds them. He tries to take over the ship eventually, once before Kirk realizes that it's who it is. That it was basically like you have found frozen. Who are the big Alexander the Great? Or Genghis Khan or somebody, somebody like that. And a woman one of Kirk's crew, who's like I feel like she's like a historian. Lieutenant MacGyver's, she kind of becomes infatuated with Khan and both helps him and then also kind of eventually helps Kirk again at the end. And Kirk, in the end, says, like, look, we're going to strand you on this planet, Khan, but it is, like, it's a tough world, but it's also a beautiful world, and if you are the conqueror you claim to be, and, part of me wants to believe you could do some good, then you will tame this world. What Kirk didn't know is that planet would be knocked out of orbit and become a hellscape.
Oops.
And Khan's wife would die, who was that historian, and Khan would go on to seek out bloody revenge, resulting in the death of Spock.
Oops.
Lots of oopses. So, what is the podcast? The podcast the framing device is that some years after the events of Wrath of Khan, that somebody finds out that Lieutenant MacGyver's from Kirk's crew back in the day kept audio journals of what was going on in the Botany Bay colony. That was the name of their ship, Khan's ship. And that she wants Starfleet to allocate sources to go back to the planet to acquire these audio tapes and find out everything that this woman observed about Khan in those formative days. See how a person, what the line is between genius and dictator and madman, and things like that. At the hearing, in the framing story, George Takei reprises Sulu, Captain Sulu of the Excelsior, and he's kind of like, I was there when we met Khan. He's like, we know what we need to know about him. He was a madman. But she makes her case, and he actually is somewhat convinced of it. He's like, I think it's at least worth looking at. He's like, I'm willing to volunteer the Excelsior to take her there. And so that's what happens. And Tuvok, also from Voyager, in the lore, he was an ensign, because Vulcans live a long time, on Sulu's crew. And they even did some flashback episodes of that in Voyager. And so he also, Tuvok specifically goes down with the woman as security down to the planet, which is still this hellscape. And they do really great audio on this, that... If you remember in Wrath of Khan when they go down in their Chekhov and those guys and they find Khan and it's like this desert thing with that looks like a wasteland, they really make you remember that with the audioscape on it. And then when they do find the tapes and stuff and play them, what you hear, it kind of becomes an audio play. It's not Lieutenant MacGyver's just saying, oh, here's what happened. You're actually hearing recreations of the events.
Right.
Now, one of the notable things, Khan is voiced by Naveen Andrews. You may remember him as Saeed on Lost.
Oh, yeah.
And he is great. Famously, Khan was supposed to be an Indian guy. Specifically, MacGyver's guesses that he was Sikh. But Ricardo Montalban, who was Spanish, played him. Been a little bit of a sore point on that over the years because also they had freaking Benedict Cumberbatch, the most Englishman of all time, play him.
Yes.
So this is the first time an actual Indian actor has played Indian Khan. But he kind of walks a line between being himself and having a little bit of the imperiousness that you saw from Ricardo Montalban. I was a little worried. I'm like, is this the right time for a story where a dictator is sympathetic?
Right.
And I was pleased that, sort of Sulu in the story voices that concern. And multiple people kind of voice that concern. But the Khan you see is both... he is kind of, really into protecting his people. And you see him, even joke around with them early on. As they're setting up, you'll hear them hey, we're going to set up a medical bay here. We want to go and start clearing these trees up there. There's some dangerous creatures around. We got to be careful. You remember the thing, the eel that goes in Chekhov's ear?
Yeah.
Yep.
At some point in that movie, he says that this thing killed 20 of his people. And he's only got
I thought it was just mind control. Does it kill people?
It does kill people.
Okay.
The mother, I think the larger one that they take the larvae off of, can straight up kill people.
Ah, okay.
We never found out exactly what happened. Oh, the Khan does say when it goes into your ear, he said you become one of these side effects as it parasites on your brain is you become susceptible to suggestion.
Ah, okay.
That's why he was able to control Chekhov. And he said then it becomes madness and death.
Ah, that's right.
So
okay.
we can be pretty sure that this will ultimately happen to MacGyver's, and that the series will probably dramatize the thing where the planet gets knocked out of its orbit and becomes a hellscape.
Okay.
There's 2 episodes in of 10 that I've heard, and it's weirdly good.
Okay.
The story is by the guy who wrote Wrath of Khan and directed it, Nicholas Meyer.
Oh, really?
The individual writing is by Star Trek novelist and other novelist David Mack. And Kirsten Beyer, who wrote for Picard and Discovery.
So this is legit. Where is this on, Dave?
Spotify, all
okay.
those places.
Okay.
It's free on Spotify.
So
and
it's not a
everything.
paid podcast?
Nope.
I'm surprised all these people with talent, this much talent, are donating their time.
I'm surprised. Well, I'm sure they get paid. I listen to podcasts from like Gimlet and stuff that has
advertising and stuff, maybe.
Yeah, that had like Oscar Isaac and all that, and I'm sure they were paid well. But I think sometimes people just like the format. But there's some interesting stuff, like right out of the gate. Like you find out that the female augments, Khan's from his people of about his colony of about 70 people, that they're all sterile. They were kind of created to be super soldiers, and a little bit like the replicants in Blade Runner, there was control factors put in there. They didn't want them having kids, and so they MacGyver's, who knows Starfleet technology, is much more technology advanced than them. Two of the women who are partners in this, which was also kind of nice and progressive. They want to have a kid of their own, and so they're trying to get MacGyver's. They're like, hey, can you help us with your better tech, kind of with fertility issues? And I was like, I was not expecting this would be the story. There's also an interesting one of Khan's right hand man is this kind of scary Russian guy, who, without Khan has like, there's a guy who's like, I don't know if you should be leading us. And secretly, this Russian guy comes and just fucking kills that dude without Khan knowing it.
Okay.
And there's some interesting stuff going on also with the younger kids in there. He is like both a leader to them, but he's also kind of egotistical and clearly wants to be obeyed.
Okay.
They're right now walking, I think, a smart line between kind of genius and madman sort of stuff. Mm-hmm. And it's clear he'll probably snap when his wife dies. But there's a question of whether he can... She's like asking him these questions. She's like, tell us, they said you were actually, even Kirk said you were like a benevolent dictator in your time. She's like, tell us about like, that mercifulness you showed. And he doesn't want to show vulnerability in front of his crew. And he tells her that later, but he's also like wants her approval. He likes that she challenges him. And so it's walking an interesting knife's edge between making him sympathetic and not. Yeah. So far so good. I was shocked by how well written it was.
Okay.
Good voice acting.
It made me kind of want to listen to it. So
interested. Yeah.
And it's just called Star Trek Khan. Okay. That's it.
Nick, you want to talk about F1?
Yeah. So I don't have a huge track record with driving movies. I think I like more than most of you do. Because
Days of Thunder?
I enjoyed Days of Thunder. There's that weird... Ford versus Ferrari. I liked that. Yeah. I liked... There was one that had Chris Hemsworth that I think Ron Howard did not too long ago that was really good. Rush. Yeah, I thought that was really solid. But F1...
Nick, when you said you don't have a history with racing movies...
Apparently I do.
Sounds like you do.
Apparently I do. I even... For Days of Thunder, it was like a weird... not weird. They partnered with Exxon.
Okay.
And you could get the little Hot Wheels die-cast cars of all the...
Like at Exxon gas stations?
Yeah, at Exxon gas stations, because the racing connections. You could get Cole Trickle's car, you could get all the different vehicles.
And did you have them?
I had them.
Nice.
But F1 is directed by Joseph Kosinski, who is the guy who did the new Top Gun Maverick.
Okay.
It is not a dissimilar storyline and energy. I think he has a mode.
Is he following in the footsteps of Tony Scott, who directed both Top Gun and then Days of Thunder?
It's not a bad footsteps to follow in, honestly.
When is he going to do his version of what's the Tarantino scripted one? Tony Scott's True Romance.
True Romance.
Yeah, when is he going to do True Romance?
So the thing I think that differentiates the two is that Tony Scott is a very intensely kinetic director.
Right,
He did lots of hard cuts and just
visual
flashiness.
Yeah.
Where Kosinski is a little bit more it's just not down the middle.
Right.
Because he's definitely doing interesting things with the camera, but it's not that kind of flash and jerk and craziness. It's interesting though.
What is the story here?
The basic story is Brad Pitt plays kind of an older driver who
present day.
Yeah, present day. He's in his like whatever age Brad Pitt is, which I assume has got to be.
Brad Pitt's in his 80s. He's just well preserved.
Yes.
He's got a good gym coach.
But he's got a little bit of a daredevil streak in him. He doesn't. He drives anything. He is a drive. I will do F1. I will do Daytona. I will do anything.
How about an Abrams tank?
Sure, he can drive that. He is like the driver.
Okay.
And he gets hired by his friend, who's played by Javier Bardem, to basically help out a new driver in the F1 circuit that he owns. And there's a backstory that Javier Bardem is not doing well financially. He needs a win, so he's kind of bringing as a last resort his friend who was good but had some stuff happen to him that sent him on a different course. I thought this was a lot of fun in the sense that it was less about the driving and more about the characters, and I was a little surprised by that. The driving stuff is really interesting and kind of shined a little bit of a light on what actually is F1 racing.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know that it was a team sport.
I guess I don't think of it as that, but like, you're talking like the pit crew and all that?
Well, no. Well, there's that aspect of it too as well, but the F1, there are 2 cars per team.
Huh.
And they work in concert with one another.
Do you like tag out like a relay race?
No, you're driving at the same time, and depending on placements and stuff, you're kind of in different areas.
Oh.
But you can kind of work together to sort of like rally against different teams.
That's nuts. Randy, were you aware of this?
Nope.
I was not aware of this.
I was not aware of it either. And also, like, the creation of the cars, there was a lot of...
What was the video game movie that came out? Gran Turismo.
Gran Turismo, which is a piece of shit.
But it covers them the same ground as this in the trailers I saw.
A little bit, but...
It's not well?
Not well.
Okay.
And I know...
So that was the only awareness I had of it.
I think I'm being a little harsh on that. I tried watching it, and man, it just did not connect with me. This one, it's got a sense of fun, but I like the characters. And
is there a direct rival to him?
Not really.
Oh, really?
It's kind of just
him versus environment?
Him versus environment, and him sort of trying to connect with this young kid who is brash and kind of like his ego is so inflated. He's kind of buying into all the sponsorships.
Okay.
And it's like Brad Pitt is kind of like...
This sounds like a little formulaic.
It is. It's very formulaic.
Okay.
And I think that actually is a boon for it.
Yeah.
Because it excels in the formula.
Okay.
It kind of like a little bit kind of just goes above and beyond what it needed to be.
Okay.
And when you have Brad Pitt, I like Brad Pitt. I think he's a very likable actor.
Okay.
As your star, and surround him with Javier Bardem, very likable. He plays kind of his over-the-top self.
That's what I always said about No Country for Old Men. Very likable.
Yep.
But I mean, like, him in Dune. I mean, he was an extremely likable...
Right.
Like, even though
I would definitely say watchable. I don't know if likable necessarily always, but like he is a mesmerizing on-screen actor.
For sure.
Yeah. And then the pit crew is really interesting. There is a woman who is like the first female person to like build an F1 car.
Okay.
And there's a relationship that she and Brad Pitt create. She's played
based in any way on true story stuff, or is this just kind of a tale of F1 racing?
But she's played by Carrie Condon, who says she was in Avengers: Age of Ultron, and I can't remember who she was.
I think she was Ultron.
She was actually Age.
I can't say for sure, but
and she was also
represented the personification of Age.
Of Age, yes. It was a weird role.
She said she was in Infinity War too, and I can't remember who she played.
I think Ultron.
Yes, again.
Age is back.
Anyways,
sorry.
No, she was really good. There's a bunch of bit players that you'd probably recognize, but I really found this to be very enjoyable. I was wanting kind of, and I know this sounds bad, a middle of the road, entertaining.
She plays Friday.
Oh, interesting.
She's the voice of Friday.
I mean, that's a fairly big role, honestly. Yeah. He talks to the damn AI all the time.
Yes. She does not play Age of or Ultron.
It is a bit of a middle of the road, but it's what I was looking for.
Yeah.
And I think if you're looking for something fun, low stakes, but higher entertainment, this is a really good movie.
Nick is here to say 3 stars out of 5.
I think I gave it 3.5.
You sick bastard. No, that sounds fun. That sounds like a good time.
All right. That'll do it for us this week. We'll be back next week with more. And until that time, Yo Joe.
Roguecast is a weekly podcast broadcast from Rogues Gallery Comics and Games in Round Rock, Texas. You can find us online on Facebook and at www.roguesgallerytx.com and email us comments or questions at roguesgallerytx@gmail.com. Thanks for listening.